This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back to the show. We are honored to have Brenda Bryan here joining us. She's the CEO of It Must Be Said Productions, hailing from beautiful Portland, Oregon. She joins us today, and we're going to get to know her on a personal level and, of course, experience, what her business is all about and really helping people be empowered to live their calling. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. I'm excited about getting to talk to you. It's beautiful.
Well, same here. Thanks so much for being here and excited to have you and excited to get to know you. So before we even start, with the specifics of what Brenda Bryan is doing and all the amazing work she's helping, I'd like to just find out a little bit about you. Please, would you mind giving us a little bit of your history in a sense?
I hail from the East Coast,
Oh,
and growing up in Cape Breton, I really had a sense of limited opportunities. So I started to dream up a way that I could expand who I wanted to be and where I wanted to go. So I found myself going to art college, Nova Scotia College of Art and Design. At the age of 16, and from there that opened up worlds to me, and on the journey of becoming a degree in communications design. Along the way, I found myself in the women's movement, which really opened up new doors for me during my time, my short and brief time in the corporate world. I really discovered that that was not going to be a place where I got fed or nurtured. So I started looking around for ways that I could be more proactive in doing a life that I loved, and the women's movement took me into very many different adventures. And at one point in that adventure, I was in the middle of a protest in Halifax, and I got this internal download that said, "This is not the way." And so that took me to, it's like, okay, this isn't the way. What is the way? And so that led me into getting involved with the healing arts, because I believe that the inner work is where we're going to change the outer perspective. And so that's been my journey for the last 40 years, is really doing holistic healing work as a clinical hypnotherapist, as a breath worker, all the things that I have done in order to expand my understanding of how the human system can actually be designed to be more productive, more successful, and happier in how we choose the path we want to be on. And so as today I'm a transformational dream builders coach and a life mastery consultant, all along the way being told and guided to come here through Spirit's interactions with me. And it's been an amazing journey, and I love that I'm getting to, at this time, at this stage in my life, to really harness and hone in on the quality of helping others really claim their life the way they want to do.
oh my goodness. Well, thank you. And this is fascinating that you're helping so many, reclaim their own lives, right? And,
Yeah.
I was reading about you, and growing up, right? You were raised and you saw a lot of these constraints on women and this lack of equality. And it makes me so sad too. I've seen it myself as well. But, once you went to college, is that where you started to really realize and focus like, hey, we have rights too. You want to help women, right?
Well, it wasn't it really. College was just kind of a really step into opening my mind to how much our imagination and our creativity and our choices can be such a huge part of constructing a life that's fulfilled. And it wasn't until I stepped into the corporate world where I was really harassed, and the sexism was unpalatable, and the lack of respect just, made me really angry, to be honest with you. And so I started to look for a different way. And so I left that corporate job. I was in a top advertising firm in the city I was in, and I just, it's like, this is not going to suit me. So I found a freelance designer who took me in and put me under his wing and taught me a lot about the industry. But more than that, he led me to the women's movement. And in so doing, I found my community. And it was in the women's movement where I was able to actually use my creativity, my skill set, really hone other skills like group process, facilitation, grassroots organizing and stuff like that. And that really became the foundation for the work I do today, because I love group mind, for one, and what that means when we come together to consensus on actions we want to take, especially when we do inner awareness work about what are we contributing, what can we be doing differently, how can we open up our vision for what's possible, because lots of times the paradigms or the stories or habits or beliefs we're in constrict us from believing that our dream is possible. And that is what I know through my work over those years, is that when we dream and when we act from our dream and when we take inspired actions, what happens is we get to actually achieve things that otherwise would not have been achieved, because too many people are believing that, I gotta ask for permission. And that is not my idea of a good time, asking for permission. My belief is that within us is an inherent calling. And when we listen to that inner voice and we start working with that inner voice, we start to really shift where we show up, the money we can make, the good we can do, the happiness we can have, the relationships that are valuable to us, the communities that we can build, because we're following what in actual fact is spirit breathing through us.
Wow. Oh my goodness. And this is fascinating. And we're going to get to talk more about some fear, about failure. And, you mentioned working with fear, but did you want to kind of start off, what can I have or do, right? Because most people, what would you really love to do? But this question, people think about it, but they don't know how to get there. Did you kind of want to guide us through this?
Yeah, I think a really big part is we've been 95% of our behavior is unconscious. So if you
Yeah.
could think about all of the ways that we've been told who we're allowed to be, what we're not allowed to be, kind of things, that constricts us. That creates a really big constraint. And so that creates a discontent in us. And so, but there is a longing under that discontent, a longing to be more, do more, have more. And so it's when we start to listening to that longing, which is really asking the question, instead of asking, what am I allowed to do? The question we get to ask is, what would I love? What a powerful question that is. The power of that question is, well, what would you love? And what are you willing to do to actually move in the direction of what you would love? So paying attention to those inner signals, listening to that still small voice, allowing yourself to take action in the direction of something you can do from where you're at with what you have, will then move you in the direction of finding more fulfillment, finding more joy in your life, finding more love in your life.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Well, that's what a lot of people want. And it's just like, the how do we do it? Because we're always feel so stuck. Yeah. So let's go through the plan, and how do we get over this fear in a sense and continue the process to work with you to actually start moving on and get what we want?
Well, the first issue is not how. If we ask the question how, our
Uh,
paradigm is going to show up and say, you've never done it before. Why do you think you can do it now?
got it.
Right?
Got it.
So
Got it. Yes.
what do I want to do, and who do I know that's doing something like that, right? So we get to go into that level of going past the fear stopping us from doing it and asking, well, what is it I would really love, right? And moving towards that, because dissuasion, disdain, delay, DEFCON, these are elements of how fear shows up, right? It'll scare you to death anytime you're trying to make a move outside of your comfort zone. Your paradigm, your limiting belief is going to show up and say, well, you can't do that, because it's trying to keep you safe. And when you're trying to play it safe, it's hard to go on a big adventure of not safe. So we got to open up to, like, fear is not a stop sign. Fear is a challenge, to a call to action. And so when fear shows up, you say, okay, if fear is showing up, that means I'm thinking about something that is outside of my comfort zone. And anybody who's been successful in life knows that everything that they want is outside of their comfort zone. So
Wow.
fear is a part of the journey, and when we embrace it as just walking alongside of us, it doesn't stop us. It's a call to action. Say, okay, well, what is it that I can do from where I'm at with what I have, so that I can make changes in who I want to be and where I want to go.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're ecstatic that you're here joining us. And if you are just tuning in, want to remind you, Brenda Bryan here, CEO at Must Be Said Productions, and she's here helping so many really move on, get the life they want, and get this fear out of us. I'd love to hear about some of the clients as well. What's next?
Well, I think one of the biggest fears, people often talk about one of the biggest fears in life is fear of public speaking, which is why I help women entrepreneurs, heart-centered women entrepreneurs, learn about being a speaker, because it's an opportunity to recognize that you can do that. So one of my clients came to me absolutely paralyzed, and so I just helped her to recognize that part of that fear she was feeling was actually excitement. So instead of focusing on the fear, what we focused on, what was her why? Who was it that she wanted to serve? And how was her help going to help those people that she wanted to serve live lives that they wanted to live? And when we got into that energy, she was able to actually construct a really powerful presentation and deliver it to many different platforms, and really became comfortable in recognizing that her voice was important in the world. As all of us need to recognize that we need to speak to a truth about us that helps others show up for themselves as well.
Oh my goodness. And you mentioned there's a lot of things you've helped people shift, even like, for example, overcoming public speaking and so much more. I want to hear some more stories if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, I think that part of what we do is we get locked into things that happen to us when we were young, like you know, things like you get fired from a job, and you actually believe, well, nobody's ever going to hire me again, or there's never going to be a way that I can be trusted, or take care of myself. So one of my clients, as a designer in the fabric industry, and really went through a rough time in a museum, in a historical museum, and so she really lost confidence, lost trust in herself, lost belief that what she wanted in the world matters. So over a period of time, we really worked with her, recognizing that she had a unique perspective and a unique voice, and that there was a place for her to move that energy. So she became a writer, and started writing things. But then she was invited into a national fiber show, and that changed everything for her, because she started showing up in the truth of where her passion lied, not for what people were telling her she was allowed to do, but where she could come from in terms of how she wanted to express herself. And she brought in other people who were not in the fiber industry to do some parts construction of her sculpture, and that she was with 10 other people who were putting a long structure together. And that just opened her up to so many things started to happen for her. And one of them was she was actually invited in to design. One of my other friends has a fundraiser for FEMA Foundation. It's schools in Africa, and they do fundraisers at a fashion show every year. So she was invited in as the designer, and so she got to design 10 outfits for that fashion show. And so everything
Oh
that she
my
she
gosh.
she moved into actually finding a way to express that in ways that were valid and important, and raised funds for that for FEMA Foundation, and of course showed other people that their creativity mattered as well.
Oh my goodness. See, these are the positive stories. This is what life is about. I love hearing the success stories. And you clearly, I mean, what is the best part of your job, would you say?
Watching the penny drop.
Yeah.
And people are stuck, and they don't know, kind of, they really, they're really feeling downtrodden. They really feel like, nobody loves them, nobody cares about them. And then all of a sudden in this work, they get an understanding that that the failure, fear and failure are prerequisites to success. And so oftentimes, instead of, they frame that failure up as, I'm no good and I can't have it. But every successful person, including Oprah Winfrey, including Bruce Steinberg, including anybody who's had any success at all, have all been told that they didn't have it in some way. And so our job is to not to believe what other people tell us. Our job is to say, what's the still small voice in me that's telling me there is something I'm supposed to be doing? How can I be still in this? How can I meditate on this? How can I listen to this? How can I look at the things that spark me up? Sometimes it's a bus driving by and there's a poster on it, and all of a sudden you get excited because something lights up in you. Follow the cues. Follow the cues that light you up and see where it takes you. That's my advice, is like, don't ever sit on your haunches waiting for it to come by. Go looking for it. Go be the one who's actively engaged in saying, how can I live a life that is actually fulfilling to me?
Oh my goodness, this is beautiful. I love it. And you are clearly just an amazing advocate here. And as an activist for social change and all for all these years, I just love that you are inspired to help so many. And you say, be the change, right? You say the work I get to do is this support the calling in each of us that can be changed. So, being this is our first show, there's still so much more to cover. I'm not sure if you want to go by what we have in our notes, or what else do you want to make sure we talk about for today?
I think part of what I would like people to understand is that nobody can do it but you.
Yeah.
You have to be the one listening to the call, and you have to be the one that's willing to step up and take an action in some way. And so, whatever that action is, take a course, write a poem, learn to play the guitar, start going for long walks so that you're healthy and vibrant in your life. Like, find ways that you are engaged in positive, healthy activities that inspire you to keep moving forward, whatever that is. And that's really why having a coach or being in a system is useful, because quite often we get discouraged and somebody needs to have our backs, and somebody needs to be able to tell us that, yes, indeed, here's a way that you can move forward, and all of that stuff. So my encouragement to everybody is, find a way to find partners in belief, whoever that might be, whether it's, look outside your immediate circle. If you're not feeling supported by them, go to a class, go try and learn to run a marathon. Do something that inspires you to keep adding to your repertoire of possibilities.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for that. And, this work that you're doing clearly is just so inspirational and brings so much joy, I know, not only to you, but of course to your clients. And how long does it take to kind of work with you? I mean, is it different for everyone, but to really start noticing a change and change our habits?
Well, transformation takes time. It's not a one and done. Like, so if people call them for a one-off, that isn't work. So I have a 6-month program. It's a Dream Builders program. We meet every other week, and there's a course that goes along with it, and then there's individual instructions that go along with it. Because our paradigms and our training, our beliefs and habits and patterns are so powerful. And if 95% of how we're behaving is unconscious to us, what does it take for us to actually open up to a behavior that is not serving us any longer? So that takes time. I've been in the transformational industry for 40 years, and there's a saying is that the angels are looking over saying, grow, 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 right? And so we want to keep or recognizing that as human beings, no matter how much we're doing and how much we've done, we are continuously changing and growing. And we want to do that consciously. We want to be able to be the ones creating the dream, designing the dream, moving the dream, and moving forward with what we would love, which is why the question, what would I love, is so powerful to open up to that awareness that but it takes time. It's like, you can't go in it and kind of think, well, 3 weeks or 3 months are going to do it. Transformation is an ongoing job, and I love working with people who understand themselves as seekers, people who are always like, there's more for me. What else can I be doing? How else can I be moving in the direction of what I would love? How can I raise my income? How can I find a job where I'm working part-time and bringing in twice as much money? How can I take my artistry work into an environment where it's really going to be appreciated? So we create dreams together, and then we take actions on those dreams so that those dreams are being lived and fulfilled on a daily basis.
Got it. Oh my goodness. Well, we still got 3 more minutes left in the show. I'm not cutting you short, my friend. What else did you want people to hear and to know about you?
Well, I think I love supporting people. I love to see people change. I love to see people live lives that they want to feel fulfilled in. And so, if you're interested in knowing more about my work, go to my website and book on a Dream Builders session with me. It's a 60 minutes free consultation where you'll get to kind of really talk about what do you have now and where do you want to go, so that we can really look at how to support you in overcoming any of the obstacles, any of the stops that are holding you back now, so that you can create a life that you really love. We deserve it, and if not now, then when? Right? When are you going to start actually taking action on the quality of who you want to be and the joy that you want to bring to your own heart and the love that you want to bring to the world by you being in alignment with your purpose and your calling? When we are there, we are in harmony with the world in a way that up until now you may not have felt.
Oh my goodness. Beautiful. All right. Well, let's find out how we can contact you, please.
All right, so my website is www.brendarbryan.com. And I also have a strategy session if you wanted to book into that. That would
Sure.
be at https://calendly.com, Brenda R. Bryan. Go to my website. That's the easiest place to do it. And my email, if you want to email me directly, is brendarbryan@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you, even if you have a question or you've got feedback about this podcast. I just love talking. And so if you want to connect and you want to know more, then I'd love to be the one that you're reaching out to, and that we have a conversation about how powerful do you want to be in the world. Are you ready to make a decision to go in that direction of your power and your joy and your love?
Beautiful. Thank you so much. You have a fantastic day and looking forward to speaking with you again. Thanks so much.
Hey, thank you.
All right. Enjoy, sweetheart. And we'll connect soon, I hope. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, sweetheart.
Bye-bye.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.